Well, even before the 7 Supreme Court judges decide who is the winner in the battle of wits expected from next week at the Supreme Court, a war is already playing outside the court, with Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance leader Raila Odinga hitting out at IEBC chairperson Raila Chebukati over what he says is incompetence. The IEBC hitting out at Raila as well. We have that plus many other stories ahead, but first let's have a look at the highlights. Tonight,
those are the things we have submitted and officially received by court. Now it is in court custody, so we are done with our obligation of submitting those election materials to the court as per the court rules and regulations.
IEBC submits election forms at the Supreme Court. Hearing of the presidential election petition set to begin on Tuesday next week. You are out of order, Chebukati tells Azimio flag bearer Raila Odinga.
Bwana Chebukati kama mshtakiwa disqualify himself, ajiondoe katika hii uchaguzi ambao unaendelea.
As Raila insists Juliana Cherera should oversee Kakamega and Mombasa gubernatorial elections. Police are holding a 40-year-old man for allegedly allowing his 9-year-old boy to drive himself to school along Mombasa Road. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Eric Munene. Our sign language interpreter at the bottom end of your screen is Anne Wairimo. Now, Raila Odinga's tiff with IEBC's chairperson Raila Chebukati continues to play out, with Odinga now demanding that Juliana Cherera, who is the commission's vice chairperson, oversees the Kakamega and Mombasa gubernatorial elections, a demand that IEBC chairperson Raila Chebukati has quashed, stating that it does not hold any threshold constitutionally. TV47's Moige William with that report.
Azimio la Umoja flag bearer Raila Odinga now wants IEBC chairperson Raila Chebukati to recuse himself from supervising the Mombasa and Kakamega gubernatorial elections. Raila recommending that the vice chair Juliana Cherera should pick up the responsibilities of running the commission, noting that Cherera's first assignment should be to oversee the Mombasa and Kakamega gubernatorial elections set for the 29th of this month.
Tunasema hizi uchaguzi itafanywa chini ya usimamizi ya naibu wa chairman ya IEBC. Bwana Chebukati kama mshtakiwa disqualify himself, ajiondoe katika hii uchaguzi ambao unaendelea. Hawajifanye na wale watu ambaye hawana upendeleo.
However, IEBC was quick to dismiss Raila's demands, stating that the chair of the commission has no role in the upcoming mini-polls and especially at the county level, neither constituency or ward level electoral processes. Raila went further to slam Raila Chebukati for the recently concluded presidential race, where the commission's chair announced Deputy President William Ruto as the president-elect.
Wale commissioner 4 wametoka wamesema hii si haki. Hii ni wizi kubwa hii. Amebaki yeye peke yake. Hata wale wawili waliogopa kwenda na yeye kule kwenye microphone. Ameingia katika hiyo ukumbi peke yake.
Raila Odinga has filed a petition at the Supreme Court praying that the court overturns William Ruto's victory in the just concluded general election.
Tunataka kwanza mahakama iseme ya kwamba sisi ndio tulishinda. Hiyo ni ukweli. Tulishinda, na badala ya kurudi katika uchaguzi tena, tutangaze washindi, tuende tukachukue kiapo.
Odinga was speaking in Mombasa City County, where he held a meeting with the supporters of ODM Mombasa gubernatorial candidate Abdul Swamad Nasir. Moige William, TV47.
Moving on, the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalitions are racing against time to put in place a governing structure that comes with control of key bodies like Parliament, despite an ongoing petition challenging the results of the presidential election. And as Flora Limuki reports, Parliament will hold its inaugural sitting for orientation of the newly elected lawmakers tomorrow and Friday. Have a look.
The orientation for the newly elected members of Parliament will make up the 13th Parliament is set to take place tomorrow and Friday. This comes in the backdrop of the two major coalitions, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya, scrambling for the position of the Speaker of the National Assembly and Senate. The Kenya Kwanza coalition has proposed Bungoma Senator-elect Moses Wetangula as the Speaker of the National Assembly, while Azimio has fronted Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka for the position. However, Article 106 of the Constitution requires Wetangula to resign before contesting the National Assembly Speaker's position. Since the declaration of William Ruto as the president-elect, a massive exodus has been witnessed as elected members decamped to Kenya Kwanza coalition. 10 members of parliament who vied on an independent ticket and 7 UDM members of parliament drew in their weight behind the Ruto-led Kenya Kwanza coalition. The law states that a candidate for the speaker's seat must be supported by at least 2/3 or 233 of the 349 members of the National Assembly. On the other hand, outgoing Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi of Kenya Kwanza and former Speaker Kenneth Marende of Azimio One Kenya have been proposed for the post of Senate Speaker. At the same time, the coalitions are also lobbying to take charge of the major committees in the 13th Parliament, that is, the Health Committee, Finance Committee, Budget Committee, Security Committee, Transport Committee, Education Committee, Public Accounts Committee and Public Investment Committee. However, the Public Accounts and the Public Investment Committees is a reserve of the opposition in the National Assembly. The party or coalition with majority of legislators will have its way in the selection of the third in command in the country. Flora Limuki, TV 47.
Well, moving on, the Kenya Kwanza Brigade today pitched camp in Rongai, Nakuru County, where they slammed their opponents for what they said is causing chaos, urging their supporters to remain calm as they await for the outcome of the presidential petition. Led by Deputy President-elect Rigathi Gachagua, the Kenya Kwanza leaders urged Rongai residents to elect leaders who are development conscious. Chichi Josephine has more.
The team led by the Deputy President-elect Rigathi Gachagua during their tour of Nakuru City County rubbished claims by their opponents that they were chaotic while criticizing a section of IEBC commissioners for interfering with the elections, as he warned them to step aside and allow Kenyans to choose their leaders.
Serikali ya William Ruto haitatumia machifu kufanya siasa. Hiyo hapana kazi yao. Na hata wale county commissioner kwanza wapa Nakuru alikuwa ameingilia siasa sana. Tunataka kukuambia tukiwa hapa, hii uchaguzi ya Jumatatu wewe county commissioner ukae kando. Waachana na raia wapige kura. Si ndio? Wewe county commissioner kaa kando kwa hii uchaguzi. Machief piga kura yako, enda nyumbani. Muachane na raia ndio wenye kuamua. Na hao ndio wenye kusema.
Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro urged their opponents to accept Kenya's choice of leaders.
Na wakienda wajue waende katika koti, lakini maneno ya kurusha mawe waambiwe Ndindi Nyoro tukiongozwa na Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah na Susan Kihika, tumesema hakuna mawe inarushwa pahali Kenya. Kesi yao kwa sababu inasambaratika, lazima waende nyumbani. Wheelbarrow tuko nayo, tunawaweka ndani, lazima waende Bodo Express.
On his part, Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah noted that the Kenya Kwanza Alliance will shift focus on rebuilding Kenya's economy, noting that they will serve all Kenyans equally.
Our focus is on rebuilding our economy. Uhuru Kenyatta is leaving behind a tattered economy, an economy that is worse than the late President Moi left us. We have no time for vendetta. We have no time for revenge. We have no time to even point fingers at others. That's why we're asking them respectfully, please accept the will of God and the will of the Kenyan people and their decision on the 9th of August.
Rongai constituency elections will be held on Monday 29th after postponement due to missing ballot papers. Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Now tonight, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has tabled key evidence the commission used to declare President-elect William Ruto as the winner of the August 9th presidential poll. The crucial Form 34s are the subject of the Supreme Court legal contest disputing Ruto's victory by Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga, who claims they were manipulated to hand Ruto victory. And as our senior political affairs reporter Apollo Kamau reports, Odinga has unveiled a team of 42 lawyers to face IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati.
IEBC made the first legal move to defend its decision to declare President-elect William Ruto the winner of the August 9 presidential election by tabling the crucial Form 34As, escorted to the Milimani Law Courts, the Supreme Court's registry, under tight security. Commission Chief Executive Hussein Majani, Commissioner Bolumoya, and lawyer Wambua Kilonzo meeting the legal requirement of taking the evidence to court as required by law 48 hours after the petition was filed on Monday.
Election is a very regulated process. We have followed the election law to the letter. We are very confident that there is no any violation of any procedures, rules or regulation. But that is why we have court. It is court to determine.
The crucial evidence also marks a crucial step for the Azimio la Umoja camp, which will scrutinize the evidence to support its claims that the election forms uploaded on the IEBC public portal were manipulated to hand Ruto victory. This on a day Odinga continued to buttress his case against IEBC and its chairman Wafula Chebukati, claiming he is the right winner of the poll.
Na badala ya kurudi katika uchaguzi tena, tutangazwe washindi, tuende tukachukue kiapo.
Azimio has assembled the country's best legal minds to prepare for its showdown with Chebukati, whose team lead lawyer is former Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai. Odinga's team will be led by Siaya Governor-elect and close confidant James Orengo, who for the second time will lead Odinga's legal team, having successfully convinced the court in 2017 to nullify President Uhuru Kenyatta's victory. Others are senior counsels Firoz Noroji, Philip Murgo, and Okongo Omogeni. Odinga's longtime legal advisor Paul Mwangi will lead the case management team. Others are Jackson Awele, Julie Soweto, Velma Maumo, Professor Bensi Hanya, Fred Orego, Dan Maanzo, and Thomas Sharia, among other lawyers. IEBC is expected to file its responses to Odinga's petition on Friday, ready for its defense in court next week. The presentation of election materials is IEBC's first line of defense to prove to the court that the election was not manipulated, with all eyes on the commission whether it's going to present its case as a joint team or divided as it is. Apol Kamau, TV 47 at the Milimani Law Courts.
Well, thank you, Apollo Kamau, for that. The Kakamega gubernatorial candidates took their campaigns to various parts of the county 4 days to the election that was postponed twice by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. Cleophas Malala of Kenya Kwanza traversed through Navakolo, Mumias East and Mumias West, while Didmus Barasa of Azimio One Kenya Coalition camped in Shinyalu to woo voters ahead of the August 29th polls. Violet Auma has more.
With only 4 days left before Kakamega residents go to the polls to elect their new governor, candidates eyeing for the seat put their best foot forward, campaigning in various parts of the county to seek support of 844,709 voters in Kakamega County.
Utasimama na mimi? Na mimi nimejaribu bana. Nimeuza hata ng'ombe kwa boma yangu. Hata mbuzi bana. Kutafuta hii kiti bana.
The Kenya Kwanza gubernatorial candidate Cleophas Malala, together with the leaders affiliated to the coalition, held rallies in Navakolo, Mumias East and Mumias West, where they promised to revive the ailing Mumias Sugar Company.
Mimi nasema hao majamaa wakitaka kura ya halali waache kuja kugonga milango ya watu usiku. Pia mimi serikali yangu nitaweka milioni 300 pesa ya serikali kwa wakulima, mulime shamba zenyu na mpande miwa yenu, tuanze kupeleka miwa Mumias Sugar.
The other leaders who accompanied Malala, among them former Mumias East Member of Parliament Benjamin Washeli and former Sports CS Rashid Echesa, drummed up support for Malala and promised locals to change their lives and economy under the Kenya Kwanza coalition.
Oparanya ametapeli hii county na naogopa William Ruto akiwa pale juu na Kilofas hapa, hii pesa yote ametapeli hapa, tunaenda kumuuliza maswali. Na ndio mnaona ameenda kuleta kibaraka yake ile inakuja kufunika uovu yote amefanya kwa hii county yetu ya Kakamega.
Vile tunaongea sasa hivi, the prime minister wa Kenya, yule prime minister ni mtoto wenu Muluya, anaitwa Musalia Mudavadi. Speaker of the National Assembly, munajua number 1 ni president, number 2 ni deputy president, number 3 ni speaker, ni mtoto Muluya, anaitwa Moses Masika Wetangula.
On the other hand, the Azimio One Kenya gubernatorial candidate Didmus Barasa, alongside his running mate Ayub Savula, camped in Shinyalu constituency to sell their agenda.
Mimi kama Didmus Barasa nilipeleka Chebukati kotini. Nikasema watu wa Kakamega they have a right kuchagua gavana wao. Na nikaambia Chebukati, you must give us a date ambayo iwezi pita tarehe 30. Tumepewa tarehe 29 ambayo ni Jumatatu. Sisi tunataka IEBC ikiongozwa na Vice Chair Cherera wasimamie uchaguzi wa Kakamega na Mombasa. Hatutaki Chebukati because we have no confidence in Wafula Chebukati.
Barasa has asked locals to consider integrity and leadership skills while electing the new county boss.
Na sisi kama team Azimio tumesema hakuna kura yetu hata moja itapotea hapa Kakamega. Ikifika tarehe 29, watu wangu wa Shinyalu, tokeni kwa wingi ili mpigie gavana mkomavu. Gavana ambaye ako na experience, sio kijana wa vipindi na sarakasi. Huyo ni gavana ni nani? Wacha nione wale watasimama na Barasa.
The election is expected to be held on 29th August after it was postponed twice by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
Now from Kakamega we head to Mombasa, where political campaigns have picked up and gubernatorial elections are set to be held on Tuesday next week. Azimio flag bearer Raila Odinga led the Azimio campaigns, where he continued to drum up support for Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir, urging the electorate to turn out in large numbers to vote. Our Mombasa-based reporter Patronila Goren with the details.
With 4 days to the Mombasa gubernatorial elections, campaigns are ongoing, with all candidates hoping to clinch the county's top seat. Today, the Azimio party leader Raila Odinga led campaigns, at the same time drumming up support for ODM candidate Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir to succeed the current Mombasa governor Hassan Ali Joho.
Watu wetu wajitokeze siku ile, siku ya Jumatatu. Wajitokeze wote kwa wengi, waende wapige kura kwa Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir.
Ujue Jumatatu ni haki yako unafuatilia. Ni maisha yako unafuatilia. Tafadhali mtupatie gavana ataweza kutekeleza ile manifesto yetu.
Sisi msimamo wetu ulikuwa tuko tayari, hata kama muna nguvu kurewind iregee tena tarehe iwe ni tarehe 8, tuko tayari. Mukatuambia kura ziwe kesho, tuko tayari kura ziweze kupigwa kesho. Mutachelewesha, lakini kuzuia hamuwezi kuzuia, my friend.
However, the Azimio brigade has faulted IEBC for postponing the Mombasa and Kakamega gubernatorial election, terming it political. IEBC postponed the elections following printing errors in the gubernatorial ballot papers.
Mlifanyiwa njama kubwa sana, lakini nyinyi wenyewe hamna makosa. Nyinyi vile vile hamkuwa nyinyi mnalengwa. Kakamega na Mombasa ililengwa kwa sababu ya baba na Martha huyu.
Hii kura imeisha, watu wa Mombasa. Kidogo tulijitokeza wachache. Tunataka tujitokeze zaidi ya 80%.
On the other side of the town, their main opponents from the Kenya Kwanza coalition were receiving defectors from other parties. Addressing the press, UDA gubernatorial candidate Hassan Omar Hassan has promised Mombasa residents that if elected, his government will prioritize Mombasa's economy.
Mwenyezi Mungu katika kuahirisha huu uchaguzi imechomoza ni nani maadui wa hii county, na ule mtazamo na msimamo watu wanataka kuchukua ili kuhakikisha maadui wa huu county wamewekwa kikomo cha full stop.
Tunahitaji hii Mombasa tuirudishe kwa hali inayofaa. Ikiwa ni Mombasa ni county ya kwanza katika Kenya hii, tunataka tushirikiane na wewe tuifanye county ya kwanza kwa kuboresha maendeleo.
Nimefurahi sasa kuungana na Kenya Kwanza kuhakikisha kwamba ndugu yetu Omar Hassan Sarai aweze kupita. Sisi kitu tunatukuomba watu wa Mombasa kwamba sisi tunataka tufanye bidii ili ndugu yetu Hassan Omar apite.
Jeshi ya baba, jeshi ya baba. Patronila Goren, Runinga TV47, County ya Mombasa.
Now, politicians who win elections normally get an opportunity to change their lives for the better, but the losers remain with scars of losing for the better part of their lives. Our reporter Mike Gongo spoke to a section of politicians who lost during the August 9th general election, and majority are yet to come to terms with their loss, having spent millions of shillings during campaigns. Have a look.
From the 16,100 candidates who ran for various political positions earlier this month, ranging from president, MP, senator, governor, woman representative and MCA, only 11.7% were elected. Only 1,882 were elected into office, sending thousands of candidates back to the drawing board, with majority back to the job hunting mission, having resigned from plum government jobs to try their luck in elective politics. According to IEBC, any public officer eyeing an elective position was expected to resign 6 months to the elections, meaning those who bolted out of their jobs in private and public sectors have a long way to go before returning to where they were financially.
Politics is a game of opportunities, and my major experience is that politics made me to be a very informed person. Of course, I came in and I was learned, but that learning, what we learn in school is not what we do in politics.
Some of those who lost are yet to come to terms with what transpired, having initially strongly believed that they had all it takes to be elected into office.
The first day I felt so bad, but after that, I am feeling that I'm relieved. I had a very big burden in my chest. I just feel that big stone is thrown off my chest. This one is because I had about 20 or 30 requests every day in my gate, in my house, on sponsorship of children. People are sick, and right now I get 2 or 3, which is normal, which is achievable now.
And everybody believes that you're going to win. You are 20 people going for the same seat, but everybody believes you are the best. You believe you are the best, so you have to try your best to really find a way of defeating this other one. So you may have to find that you might be tempted to spend everything, to sell everything that you have for you to get. So actually, it has left many people in a very bad corner. I can tell you for free.
The delegations of visitors that camped at the aspirants' homes these past few months will decline to a trickle. Meetings and hectic campaign schedules are no more. There have been reports of unsuccessful aspirants battling depression long after previous elections were concluded. A similar pattern could emerge after this year's elections, unless the aspirants know how to cope with the loss.
The first 2 days, it was my mind could not accept and my heart could not accept. Why do I lose this election? I have really worked tirelessly hard. But after that, I feel, I can sleep up to 10 o'clock. I can do my things. I can run to my errand. I can get calls.
Avoid mahala ambapo kuna mazungumzo ya siasa. Manake wakati ambapo wanazungumza sana unakuwa na chuki, unakuwa na hasira. So wewe keep busy, do your business, go to work, go enda kwa ofisi yako.
Others who held political positions before they were shown the door by voters now pray and hope that they will be accorded a soft landing, as they remain hopeful they will be appointed in the national and county governments.
I have to go for it. An opportunity that comes, I'll have to go for it politically and way to serve people. And I said I'll serve my people in whichever capacity. I serve people here of Kakamega County constituency at a national at large. And we are hoping that all will be well.
The loss of a six-figure salary presents challenges too. This is why they have seen several attempts by Parliament to pass laws that ensure lifetime benefits for members who lose their seats. Such proposals have drawn public anger, with parliamentarians accused of selfishness. In the Mount Kenya region, for example, several MPs, among them Kanini Kega, Jeremiah Kioni, Gunjiri Wampogo and Jude Njomo, lost majorly to their opponents from the UDA party. Kioni claims they were rigged out, adding that the voter turnout was much lower than figures presented by IEBC.
There was nothing like 55 or 60% turnout. Anywhere in Mount Kenya where we got 40% turnout was a record. The turnout within Mount Kenya was below 40%.
Over 14,000 politicians who lost now have their eyes trained on the government, hoping that they will be absolved.
I want to have this parliament, the county assembly, if once I'm elected as Speaker of the county assembly, I want it to let members of assembly or the county assembly to tell its own story.
So I would like to urge everybody who had given themselves up for that service to humanity to keep going, keep the dream alive. And 2027 is not very far from now.
If not, they will have to pursue other economic ventures as they prepare for 2027 to seek for elective positions again. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Well, as Kenyans celebrate a record number of women elected to office in the recently concluded general election, the two-thirds gender rule is still a thorn in the flesh. This, as some political and legal minds believe that the two-thirds gender rule should be scrapped to pave way for more effective affirmative action to get more women in leadership positions. Waris Kimathi has more.
As Kenyans warm up to usher in a new government, the constitutional provision that aims to elevate more women to leadership positions is yet to be passed, despite two previous attempts by Parliament to discuss it with little success. The stalemate surrounding the implementation of the two-thirds gender rule has been termed as another hurdle in the way of women seeking leadership, but the election of a record number of women leaders on August 9th seems to paint a different picture. Professor Herman Manyora is a political analyst, and he believes the two-thirds gender rule ought to be removed and more effective ways used to promote women leadership.
It was not necessarily ambitious, it was ill thought. It was not a realistic provision. You see, if you look at the county assemblies, they said after an election, then every county assembly will nominate the number of women required to balance the two-thirds gender rule.
Annette Kwamboka is a lawyer. She insists that the two-thirds gender rule is still important for many women.
I would not necessarily say failed attempts. I think it's a system that we're trying, and to also ensure that the women who we elect really understand the role of oversight and the role of representation, and ensuring that women's voices and women's issues are heard.
Many Kenyans hold diverse views in regard to progress made in women leadership.
We still don't have enough. In as much as they've been elected in office, we still don't have enough. Because majority of, let's say for example, in the senatorship, how many senators were elected as female? Only 3.
Leadership is not about gender. It's about qualifications. Yeah, so it has nothing to do with gender.
With Kenyans having elected a record number of women into elective positions in the past general election, the question on the lips of many now is whether the implementation of the two-thirds gender rule will help promote the position of women leadership in the country or further impede on it.
26 women were elected to Parliament following the August polls, adding to 7 women elected as governors and 3 elected as senators. Nakuru's Susan Keheka, Cecily Mbarire of Embu, Kawira Mwangaza of Meru County, Fatma Achani of Kwale, Gladys Wanga of Homa Bay, Kirinyagas Anne Waiguru and Wavinya Ndeti of Machakos County are the country's newest female governors. Waris Kimathi, TV47, Nairobi.
Well, thank you for that, Waris Kimathi. Now, the swearing-in ceremony for governors will begin tomorrow at 10 a.m. and conclude before 2 p.m. The list of the 45 county bosses who are set to take oath of office is a blended one with 7 women lined up to be sworn in. The list also contains former senators like Johnson Sakaja and Mutula Kilonzo Jr., who have risen to the ranks to take up the county leadership position. Stanley Nyeringita paints us a picture of the preparations countrywide.
Only sent for the swearing ceremony for Nairobi Governor-elect Johnson Sakaja and his deputy Njoroge Mushiri at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi. Sakaja will be among 45 governors who will be taking their oath of office countrywide on Thursday and Friday. The third edition of the ceremony, since devolution took shape in 2013, will see 26 newcomers sworn in, 11 county bosses who were re-elected, and 8 governors who made a comeback into the county leadership position. Among the governors to be inaugurated will be 7 women governors in Machakos, Kirinyaga, Homa Bay, Meru, Embu, Kwale, and Nakuru. In Kinoru Stadium, at least 10,000 guests are expected to grace the swearing ceremony of Kawira Mwangaza, who will be the first woman governor of Meru County.
Nataka kusema ya kwamba maneno ya invitations ama kualika wananchi wa Meru, kamati imeshafanya hivyo, wa Meru wamealikwa na kesho tutaanza sherehe yenyewe kuanzia saa 2 kamili.
Chairperson of the Assumption of Office Committee of Nakuru, County Secretary Benjamin Njoroge, says that preparations for swearing in of former Senator and Governor-elect Susan Keheka at the Nakuru ASK showgrounds are in top gear.
We expect more than 10,000 people, and as you can see, the arrangements, the setting is taking place. And as we meet, other preparations like the dais, where the swearing in will take place, that's going.
It is a similar situation in Kitui County as last-minute touches are being done at Ithokwe Showground, where over 6,000 people are expected to attend the ceremony. Even as the preparations for the swearing-in ceremony for the 45 counties comes to a close, residents of Mombasa and Kakamega will have to wait a little longer for their own ceremonies. This is after IEBC postponed their elections. Stanley Nyeringita, TV47, KICC, Nairobi.
Well, thank you, Stanley Nyeringita, for that. At 30 minutes past the hour, time now for a very short break. We'll be back with more. Don't go away.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Tricent School of Medical Health Science and Technology is a premier training institute for market-driven courses. With state-of-the-art facilities, competent and dedicated members of staff, and linkages with the medical industry, you are assured of a bright future when you study with us. Enroll today in our campuses at Juja, Nairobi West, Kisumu, and Homa Bay.
Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Geoffrey Gitobu, an independent electoral and boundaries commission returning officer in Gishugu constituency, Kirinyaga County, died of natural causes. Results of a post-mortem conducted by 3 pathologists indicate that Gitobu died of a blood clot which was within the pulmonary glands and moderate anemia. Sharon Baranga reports.
The sudden news of the death of Geoffrey Gitobu, who served as IEBC's returning officer in Gishugu constituency, Kirinyaga County, sent shockwaves across the country as it was days apart after the body of slain IEBC returning officer Daniel Musyoka was discovered in Kajiado County. Speculations were rife as to the cause of Gitobu's death. A post-mortem conducted by 3 pathologists at Nanyuki Cottage Hospital indicated that Gitobu died a natural death.
Basically, on the findings, there are no significant injuries on significant sites. There are no defense injuries on any of the sites, on the significant sites. What we finalized as cause of death was what we call pulmonary thromboembolism. Pulmonary thromboembolism. Yeah, he had a pseudoembolus. It's a blood clot lodged within the pulmonary trunk. The other significant findings during autopsy was he had moderate anemia as well as lobar pneumonia.
Ilikuwa ni sudden death, haikuwa kuuawa. Vile umesikia kutoka kwa hapa pathologist. We have spent the better part of the morning to ascertain the same.
Gitobu died on 22nd August 2022. He had taken a short break to see his family in Nanyuki. He collapsed at the Nanyuki IEBC offices and he was rushed to Cottage Hospital, Nanyuki.
Kile tumepata kiini cha kifo ni kwamba damu ilikuwa imeganda na ikaenda kwa mshipa wa damu ambao unaitwa pulmonary artery na ikaziba. Kwa hivyo damu haiwezi pitia kutoka kwa upande wa kulia wa roho kwenda kwa mapafu, imezibwa. Na hapo ndio ilisababisha kifo.
No physical injuries, no internal injuries. Therefore, tell our people, the public there, that there is no foul play. However, investigation continues. We have taken samples. We shall be examining those samples to rule out any other foul play. And thereafter we'll conclude our investigation.
Laikipia County DCI boss has warned politicians from spreading rumors regarding Gitobu's death. Gitobu had allowed the retallying of Kirinyaga gubernatorial results in Gishugu constituency on 10th August following a stalemate over rigging claims. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Well, moving on, Kimilili MP-elect Didmus Barasa has been freed on a 10 million shillings bond and a surety of 5 million shillings in a case which he is accused of murdering at the aide of his opponent Brian Olunga Odinga. Didmus denied the charges before Kakamega High Court Judge PJ O Otieno. Beatrice Watare has more.
I will consider those submissions and I'll give you a ruling at 3 p.m. today.
Barasa, who has been under police custody for 2 weeks, has been released on a bond of 10 million shillings with a surety of 5 million shillings in a case where he's charged with the murder of his opponent's aide, Brian Olunga Odinga.
Ipso facto, therefore, there is no compelling reason to deny bail to the accused person. He is granted bond. The remainder of the endeavor due in this determination must therefore take cognizance of the law that bond is a constitutional right and an important aspect of the non-derogable right to fair hearing. For those reasons, it is directed and ordered that the accused may be released on his personal bond of Kenya shillings 10 million with one surety in the sum of Kenya shillings 5 million.
The Kimilili MP-elect has denied the murder charges before the Kakamega High Court Judge. Kakamega High Court Judge Patrick Otieno directed the lawmaker to surrender his firearms, passport and stay clear of Bungoma County until all the civilian witnesses have testified.
The accused shall, in addition, do the following as terms of bond to be released. 1. Deposit his passport in court not later than noon on the 25th of August 2022 to be so held until furthers of the trial court. Number B, surrender all guns in his possession or control to the DCI or its agents whenever such guns could be situated within 48 hours from now. Number C, not to visit any place within Bungoma County between now and the date all the civilian witnesses shall have testified or as may be further orders by the trial court. Number D, he shall equally not contact any of the witnesses in the matter, whether directly or indirectly, in person, by telephone calls, messaging, letters, or otherwise.
Barasa is accused of shooting and killing Brian Olunga on August 9, 2022 during the general elections. The deceased was an aide of Brian Hayamba, who was also vying for the Kimilili parliamentary seat. The case will be mentioned on November the 14th. Reporting for TV47, my name is Beatrice Watare.
Well, moving on, a dramatic chase car operation ensued between a 9-year-old and traffic police officers for the better part of the day along Mombasa Road as a 40-year-old man allowed his son to drive himself to school. The minor is said to have sped off when the officers took note of him. And as Muthoni Maina now reports, police are holding the father of the child and is set to be arraigned.
Bowing in shame as traffic police officers who were in pursuit of them earlier on the busy Mombasa highway kept on inspecting the two minors at the Athi River police station. Police are holding a 40-year-old man for allegedly allowing his 9-year-old boy to drive himself to school. Motorists using the Mombasa highway spotted the minor driving the car and alerted the police, forcing them to swing into action.
Members of the public that they had sighted an underage person, in this case a pupil of a school in the River South sub-county, that he was seen driving a motor vehicle.
Police officers tried to stop the minor, but he decided to speed off, perhaps to evade the arrest of his dear parent and have his favorite toy impounded. However, the long arm of the law later caught up with the minor. Taken aback by the event, the police officers dropped off the two minors to their designated school in Athi River as their parent awaited to be arraigned at the Mavoko Law Court. Athi River Police boss Mary Njoki cautioned parents against allowing their underage children to drive as it's contrary to the Traffic Act. It is illegal to drive on Kenyan roads before one attains the age of 18.
Parents should not allow their underage children to drive vehicles. It is against the law. The law requires that one get a license, and a license is issued to anyone of the age of 18 years.
Muthoni Maina, TV47.
Very shocking and responsible. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has hinted on a possibility of an extension of the looming deadline for the application of junior secondary schools, which is set for August 30th. The move follows an uproar by parents on the scramble for the secondary schools, as Chepto Boyd now reports.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has indicated that his ministry could extend the deadline for the application of junior secondary schools, which is set for August 30th, to avoid locking out some learners. His announcement comes days after parents lamented over the scramble for junior secondary schools, where Magoha advised teachers and parents to help students pick schools next to their homes to allow easy transition. The two-week exercise started on August 15th after the Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) opened the application portal for the competency-based curriculum CBC.
We'll sit down with my team and decide
whether it is important to add some more time, because this is so critical. This is the first time this is happening. And I also I'm not happy that there are other things happening, but I want to be selfish, that as those things are happening, I'm doing my work. You know, you must listen to your children, because sometimes they are very intelligent, but you still give them wisdom so that you agree what you want to do. If a child insists on only selecting very, very top schools at this time, it takes a day or two for you to tell the child, no, this is not necessary for now. You could wait for another 3 years.
Magoha has once again warned the school heads against sending students home for fees. According to CS Magoha, the heads should instead coordinate with the parents directly.
A few teachers who are still sending children home, it really leaves a bitter taste in the mouth. There's a child who has been sent away from school in Nairobi. We looked for the principal the whole of yesterday. We have looked for the principal today, and the child has only gone back to school today.
Magoha has asked parents not to worry about a brief school calendar, especially for the second term, adding that most schools have completed the term's syllabus despite the interruptions.
Everybody seems to be worried that, we should extend time and what have you. In my assessment, I have noticed that a large number of schools have already completed the syllabus, and all that they need to do as they revise is to apply the knowledge that they are revising, so that you don't just go through the syllabus again like a machine.
Grade 6 students are expected to join junior secondary schools in January 2023 after sitting the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment KPSEA in November.
As a CBC students prepare to report to junior secondary schools, CS Magoha has reiterated that most of the classrooms to be used by the students are complete as he prepares to leave office and hand over to the next government. Chipto Boyd, TV47, Nairobi.
Let's do some business. National airline Kenya Airways has recorded a loss of 9.88 billion shillings in its half-year financial results, which is seemingly narrower than the half-year losses reported an year earlier, summing up to 11.48 billion shillings. Now, Kenya Airways, in its half-year financial results, has recorded a loss of 9.88 billion, in which is an 11% improvement from results recorded at such a time last year. Despite showcasing an improvement in incurring losses, the airline has additionally increased its operational costs owing to the rising cost of fuel in the country. The 9.99 billion shillings loss registered is still deemed too high, as this translates to a monthly loss of 1.7 billion shillings and a daily loss of 55 million shillings. Despite that, the Kenya Airways chairperson, Michael Joseph, has said that the airline is focused on restructuring so as to reduce overall operational costs and optimizing the airline's network.
Side, much more than we predicted, and in terms of our budget, by the very high fuel price, which is due to the war in Ukraine, as everybody is aware. So the very high fuel price, and also a deterioration in the foreign exchange currency rates. So that unfortunately impacted our costs. But I must say, from an operating point of view, we increased our operating profit.
Well, moving on, KCB Group has today announced its half-year financial results with net earnings of 19.6 billion shillings, a 28% rise from last year's 15.3 billion shillings. Total assets stood at 1.21 trillion, according which is actually an 18.4% increase. Revenue went up by 16.8% from 51.2 billion shillings to 59.8 billion shillings, while costs also went up by 20.3% to 27.3 billion shillings. Let's get sporty. The Kenya national cricket team will tomorrow host Nepal cricket team with a 5-match T20 international series, followed by 3 one-days scheduled to be played at the Nairobi Gymkhana cricket grounds. Kenya's national cricket team returned home last week from Jersey, where they played in the last of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup Challenge League B fixtures. won by Jersey with 18 points. Kenya tied with Uganda and Hong Kong on 12 points, with Italy in 5th and Bermuda in 6th place. And they will be looking to replicate the good results against the experienced Nepal side. Speaking during a press conference in Gymkhana Grounds, Kenya, team's head coach David Oboya thanked everyone who has contributed to the rise of cricket game in the country, adding that his side will impress.
Thank everyone who has put this together so far until where we are now, and we hope that the support will continue until the end of the tournament, whereby we'll have seen cricket becoming the winner. For Nepal, it's a big thank you, because you guys are coming down here after a very long time. We've not played international cricket here for the last 4 years. I've been playing away. So as a coach, for me, first of all, I'm very happy that the game now is back home.
We are not regular playing, but now we have ICC calendar. We've got so many matches coming, and apart from that, we again thanks Nepal. They came, and we've got some other tournaments, homes and aways, to keep our boys busy, just to make comeback.
KCB FC Football Club defeated Islanders FC 3-1 in the pre-season friendly match played at the Camp Toyoyo Stadium. Henry Ochieng found the back of the net in the first half to give the Bankers an early lead before Alan Ogedo and Kennedy Owino's strikes, minutes to stoppage time, granted the team a deserved 3-1 win as they prepare to face thicker-based side Bidco United tomorrow. Speaking after the match, KCB head coach Zico Otieno expressed his excitement with the lads, adding that they will keep pressing the team's fitness before the start of the 2022-2023 Kenya Premier League season.
These friendly matches, pre-season friendly matches, results doesn't matter as such, but it's what your objective was coming into the game. For us, we were looking for some playing minutes in the boys' legs, and we got them. So we are very, very happy because we didn't have any injury, because like you know, when you're playing these pre-season friendlies, most of the time injuries are very frequent.
Preparation is going on, so kila kitu itakuwa rahisi so long as tunapiga kitu inatakikana hapa, so kwa game itakuwa tu rahisi. So hiyo ndo target yetu sasa, tushinde tupebeli.
The Kenya duo of John Makwata and Duncan Otieno earlier today joined Botswana Premier League champions Gaborone United. Makwata, who has 14 caps for Kenya's senior national team Harambee Stars, left AFC Leopards immediately after the end of the FKF Premier League penned down a 2-year contract with Gaborone, same as his countryman Duncan Otieno, who has joined the club from